But I mastered that style. It's like the 5 deadly venom. So all he had to do was get next to a nigga like that, and he could destroy it.
Believe in that, for real. We plan to take the same strategy we use with Death Row West, mind over matter, taking all our weaknesses and making it into our strength. That all these people talk about an East Coast, West Coast war, they like the Judas was to Jesus. They only here to cause confusion. We here to bring money and to bring change. They here to cause confusion. All these weak rappers, Nas, all these suckers, they battling off of East and West like this is a game. This ain't no game. If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 years ago, because we've been beat these. It's not a game.
Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. I was born ready. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more Boxing Fantastico. May 6th, it goes down. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel and gather around. I just want to talk about some updates in this particular video with Canelo Alvarez. May 6th, T-Mobile Arena, Golden Boy Promotions presents. They got the undercard. David Lemieux is going to be on there. They have Jojo Diaz Jr., who's fighting another undefeated fighter, Manuel Tino Avila. And that's a good fight. Somebody's has to go. I think that's the best fight on the undercard in terms of competitiveness, because it's harder to beat an undefeated guy, right? And you also have Lucas Matisse, who's moving up to welterweight, first time that I can remember of him fighting at welterweight. He was at 140, lost to Postal, took a long layoff, had an eye issue, and he's feeling good and coming back. And obviously the main event between Canelo Alvarez and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Now, if you listen to the channel, you'll know ever since the inception of this particular fight, I haven't had a problem with it. Some people did have a problem with it, saying, oh, why is he not fighting him instead of Golovkin? I told you guys, simple. It's a big money fight on Cinco de Mayo weekend. It makes business sense, and I do believe it will deliver entertainment value. And it's almost like, just like if you guys watch movies, it's kind of like a prequel to Canelo versus Golovkin, because if I think Golovkin has better technique than Chavez Jr., but I think Chavez Jr. is just overall just a much bigger person than both Canelo and Gennady Golovkin. He's just a big dude. I did an interview with my dude Kid Chocolate Peter Quillen, just uploaded it earlier this morning, and he sparred him. He sparred with Golovkin and Chavez Jr. And I'll try to link in the description, but Quillen told me specifically, again, a guy who sparred with Gennady Golovkin, and no guys, and also sparred with Chavez Jr. at the wild card. He told me, he said, no homo, he said, Chavez Jr. is a big dude. He has a big ass head. He's just overall a big dude, right? And it just, to me, it could be a good prequel, because if Canelo can't move up and effectively beat a guy like Chavez Jr., who doesn't, in my opinion, have the same technique as a Gennady Golovkin. Golovkin has 350 amateurs or whatever, so he's clearly a good fighter, right? And he has a good amateur background. He just beat Daniel Jacobs. So to me, this you have to get through guys like Chavez Jr. to have a chance with Golovkin. If you can't effectively beat Chavez Jr., then I don't know what chances you'll have to beat Golovkin, because he places his shots well. He can also go to the body well. He's taller than Canelo, etc. Now, you guys seen the title in this video, and this really excites me, and I think it was a very smart move from Team Canelo. So shout out to Canelo and the Reynoso family, the Reynoso brothers, for doing this. But Canelo's sparring with the light heavyweight, Vyacheslav Shabranskyy. Now, some of you guys, if you're really into your boxing, you're going to know who Shabranskyy is. It's a Golden Boy fighter, so it's kind of within the Golden Boy family, so it probably wasn't hard to reach out to Shabranskyy to get the work, right? Because they're both Golden Boy fighters. And it was a prospect that they were really pushing. Shabranskyy has a record of 17-1 with 14 knockouts, which makes his KO percentage a 78%. And why this was so smart is because you have almost an 80% knockout artist who's competing at higher than 164.5. He's competing at 175, and he was someone who was being pumped and pushed and promoted out of Ukraine, and he came out to the States. And there's the Ukraine boxing school, Usyk and obviously Vasyl Lomachenko and some other guys, Vazdik or whatever. They got some good guys. They got some tough guys. It's a good boxing program, it looks like they're coming from. So Shabranskyy, I know some people, diehard boxing fans, are going to know his very last fight, he did lose to Sullivan Barrera. by KO. He got dropped a couple times, maybe 3 times, and lost. That was just last December. But sparring, because Curtis Stevens, I believe, was in camp with Canelo for the Cotto fight. A big puncher, a guy who was campaigning at middleweight at the time, and the Canelo Cotto fight took place at like 155. So that's still good work, even though you can't. Sparring's different. You can't judge it based off someone's pro record because they've been stopped before, they lost recently. Because at the end of the day, sparring, different set of circumstances, glove size, headgear, stuff like that, and these guys can give you good ass work. Like, I'm pretty sure that Curtis Stevens, even though he had lost to Gennady Golovkin via stoppage, and he had lost to another stoppage, I'm sure he probably helped Canelo prepare for Cotto. Now, fast forward to this Chavez Jr. fight. The reason I like this is because even though Shabransky's coming off a loss, I think he's still solid. Sullivan Barrera, he comes from a Cuban boxing school, and he's a big dude himself. I know him, met him, and he's a good fighter. Just because Andre Ward beat him doesn't mean he's not a good fighter, and he's a knockout puncher too. So the fact that Canelo, who's moving up 10.5 pounds, is fighting and sparring with a light heavyweight is a great sign, and I think that's great idea from his team to get a type of sparring partner like that for Canelo, because I did the research. Shabranskyy, he has a longer reach than Chavez Jr. and he's taller. Shabransky's listed at 6'3.5". Chavez Jr. is like 6'2", 6'2.5", and Chavez Jr. has a reach of 73 inches. Shabranskyy has a reach of 75 inches. So overall, Shabranskyy is a guy who's competing at light heavyweight. He's 29 years old. His nickname is Lionheart, and he has even bigger measurements than Chavez Jr. and almost an 80% knockout ratio. So I think this is great preparation for Canelo, because he's fighting somebody who's about Chavez Jr.'s size, but actually when you boil it down, somebody who's bigger than Chavez Jr. So I'm getting juiced for this fight. Like I said, I never had a problem with the fight particularly, like some people did, but I really am looking forward to it even more. As we get closer, more and more I keep looking forward to it. Now, this is the message Shabranskyy said. He said, back to work, back on track. What don't kill you makes you keep going. Hashtag I'll get there. Hashtag keep working. Hashtag never slow down. Hashtag let them talk. Thank you to my promoter, Golden Boy, for the opportunity to train with Canelo. Great stuff, because the biggest for me, and I made a video, 7 reasons why Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is not easy work for Canelo Alvarez. I think the biggest hurdle for Canelo is he's a guy with punching power, but he's a boxer puncher, and sometimes he's economical with his punches. If he gets you hurt, he'll get you out of there and he'll start unloading. Or if he feels like maybe he's down in the fight, maybe learning from the Mayweather loss, he showed you in the Lotta fight, he can try to turn it up a bit. So, but Canelo likes to work at his pace, like most fighters. He wants to work at the pace he wants to. Even evident in, like, if you watch the Shane Mosley fight, when he was letting his hands go, he was tearing Shane Mosley up, but he was still kind of conserving energy and not over punching himself out. And you know what I mean? He wasn't just throwing Leo Santa Cruz numbers of punches. So the big thing is curious, makes me curious, is keeping a big guy who has a chin off of you for 12 rounds. You know what I mean? Boxing well, because I think Canelo has slow feet, and I think it's a good idea. So you heard Muhammad Ali and a ton of other people say all the preparation done in the gym is what wins fights, not under the bright lights. That's just the show and tell, if you will, for the world to see what you've been working on. But I like this motion from Team Canelo to be getting in there with a guy like Shabranskyy. I seen Shabranskyy, there's a clip of him sparring Alexander Brand, who fought Ward, and Shabranskyy knocked him down. So I do think he has some power. And again, he has the measurements. He's coming from the Ukraine boxing school, and Golden Boy hooked Canelo up with this because this is somebody who's still youthful in his career, able-bodied, probably hungry, and can possibly push Canelo. And this is what you have to do in preparation, because to me, it's not a matter of, if you look at Canelo, if this was like a video game, you know, you ever play Madden or something, you look at the Raiders, the now Las Vegas Raiders, and like Tampa Bay Buccaneers or something, they'll show you their strengths and weaknesses, passing, and their overall team rating. If we were doing that versus Canelo and Chavez Jr., Canelo would have a lot more of the percentages and the check marks on his side in terms of who has the better skill. It would be Canelo. Who has the faster hands? It would be Canelo. But those things can almost be nullified when you have a tough person like a Chavez Jr. who's massive and physically looks bigger to me than Canelo, and they don't want to let up. And there's all of Mexico watching, all of the US watching, all of the world watching, and there's bragging rights, and you guys have had bad blood in the past. That's where everything can be thrown out the window, because sometimes you get lured into the wrong fight. You're in a dog fight, you know what I mean? It's pride on the line. If he catches you with a good shot, is Canelo going to have enough reserve to not commit and engage in something that benefits Chavez? So I'm really looking forward to this fight, man. But I think this is a step in the right direction. I do have a Chavez Jr. video coming up because he's doing things in preparation that I like. So I'm going to do an Ego Weight Watchers video on that. And like I said, I have no complaints. And this is going to show me a lot about Canelo Alvarez. It might even show me some stuff about Chavez Jr. because he looks focused way more than, like, it's weird to me. The Sergio Martinez fight, he looked like he wasn't even tripping. He just came out in peak chonies, like, fantastico. Like, what are you doing? Jumping in the pool, waking up at 5 p.m. and not going to train. Freddie Roach is just at the gym, like, where is this motherfucker? Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. But that's, you know what I mean? It's human nature. Different things motivate different people. You know what I mean? So just maybe he really doesn't like Canelo, and he's looking at, I really think he's looking at Canelo as food. Like, this, if I beat this guy, nobody's tripping off the loss to Matavia. No one's tripping off Funfara. They're going to be like, wow, you just beat this cash cow with Golden Boy, and everything was stacked against you. From the purse to coming down another ½ pound in the catch weight, and you know what I mean? You were considered lazy and deemed. So I really think Chavez Jr. is going to go for it. That's why he brought out the big guns with Nacho Beristain. And I'm telling you guys, I'm really, really looking forward to this fight. And it's going to, I think the winner could easily land another big fight like with Golovkin. That would be ideal for the winner, whoever it is, Canelo or Chavez Jr., to fight Golovkin. Golovkin may be fighting Billy Joe Saunders. His team is in negotiations, but I'm going to keep you guys up to date with this fight, and little things that I find out, I'm going to definitely give you guys the information. But I really was happy when I heard that Canelo, who's moving up 10.5 pounds, is working with Shabranskyy, getting that work in, because again, this is a light heavyweight, and he's bigger than Chavez Jr. if you look at his actual vitals and his stats. So shout out to Canelo for that. I wish I could see the sparring session, but Golden Boy definitely hooked Canelo up with the contact and got him in there. So let me know what you guys think. Great news for me, because at the end of the day, I just want to know these guys are really training for it. If the mega fight you're charging as pay-per-view, I want to see both guys going after it in training camp. And to me, that's what it looks like. I don't really see, haven't really heard any complaints from me. I don't see either person like slacking on the job and like not really taking it serious, at least from the outsider looking in. Let me know what you guys think. Are you picking Canelo? Does Chavez Jr. have a shot? What do you think of Canelo sparring with Vyacheslav Shabranskyy, who is at light heavyweight? Good move. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you like the video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.